experience that you have access to tonight, it's very close to 100 years. So it's people that have been in the industry for a very long time, successful in more than one opportunity. So what you're getting tonight is basically, if you can master this skill, we're going to talk about approach, and it's only going to be approach tonight. If you can master that skill, you can make any amount of money in the industry that you're in. You need to understand that, because if you look at all the other activities, all the other things that you need to do to be successful at the end of the day, there are so many tools that you have available. There are so many people that are prepared to help you to actually do that. But there's one thing, and one thing only, that it's in your hands, and that is you need to get that person to connect to the information. And that is what we call the approach. That means that it's not to present, it's not to do anything else. It's purely to get that person to say, okay, I will do that. I will watch that. I will log into the Zoom meeting. I will take the next step to get the information. Don't change anything. Guys, this is it. You know, if you change something in that approach that you're going to get, or something in the way that you do it, it's not going to work. It's really not going to work. It's like a recipe. If it says 1 egg and you put 6 eggs in there, it's not going to be the same thing, although it's an egg. So please make notes, revisit it, and if you feel that you get stuck, etc., always go back to the notes and say, well, this is what I did. Where did I differ, etc. Now, you know, the reason why we're here tonight is to share knowledge with you, is to share our the skill that we've actually developed over the years. And you know, when you look at sharing works differently for different commodities. For example, if I share money, I half it, or it becomes less. So if I've got 100 Rand and I share it amongst 5 people, each one has 20 Rand, which means that nobody has 100 Rand, and only each person only has 20 Rand. But when you share knowledge, you multiply it. When you share experience, you multiply it. And that is what we would like to see after tonight, is how it actually multiplies. And guys, take it to your team. I mean, you're blessed tonight that you have access to it. And what we're going to do after this meeting, there's going to be a second meeting that's where we're going to open it up, and you can actually start asking questions, etc. So the important thing is, yeah, it's the purpose of tonight is to share and to multiply that knowledge that we have. Just think about it. The internet is it quite a powerful tool? I think we all agree it's an extremely powerful tool. But if you were the only person on the internet, would that make it powerful? I mean, that would make it stupid. That's like you on your own computer and nobody else connected to it. So that is what we would like to do, is to multiply that knowledge, get it out there. So without any further ado, okay, Donny, I'm going to start with you then, until Philip is back online. So Donny, okay, somebody's not muted. Guys, please just mute your mics, else we're going to have a problem. Donny, okay, over to you, Donny. You have 12 minutes. Make you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, Donny, go for it.
Can you hear me, Roelof? Is the sound okay?
I can hear you, Donny. I can hear you.
Okay, great stuff.
Yeah,
guys, I went back and have a look at what is my first way in the nearly 20 years I've been in the industry. I wanted to keep it very basic, and let's see if I can share with you that. First of all, we're going to talk about approaching. Now, I'm going to give you 3 approaches. I've always done this exercise in honor of Mike, so I'm going to continue in honor of my late friend. One of the approaches I like using is, let's say, approach 1. Mike, a friend of mine started a training company, and he's looking for people who can help him give training 1 or 2 evenings per week for an extra. And then I plot the guy, 5,000, 10,000, 30,000, or 99,000. So I offer him an amount that suits his pocket. I'm looking for somebody that can, for 2 evenings per week, for an extra, let's say 20,000 a month. And I thought maybe you can do with that. Would an extra income be something you'd be looking at? That's my approach 1. Another one which I use is, Mike, me and the wife got involved almost accidentally in a part-time business a while ago. And it's doing so well, We would like to expand. Will extra money or cash help you perhaps? My third approach, Mike, me and the wife are seriously concerned. Nothing that is promised to us in this country has materialized. We've decided to take matters in our own hand and started up with a friend in a part-time opportunity that is not affected by the country's issues. The money is very great and we feel much better now that we have a plan B. Currently we are expanding. Would an extra income be something you'd be looking at? I found that if you make reference to a friend, especially if you're new and you don't make money yet, me and Rudolph are your friends. Marsha is your friend. Philip is your friend. So with reference to us, if a guy said, how much money do you make? You just go back and say, well, my friend is doing exceptionally well. I'm new, just a little bit further down you, and you actually use that approach. What I've done is what is the things you must do? There's basically three things. The first thing that you must do is be enthusiastic and timely. Listen to my voice now. Mike, this is Donny here, and I need to speak to you urgently.
Well, we're listening closely, Donny. Donny, I don't know if you can hear me. You've actually lost connection there.
Intelligent person that easily creates good first impressions. I found that people like you very much. Now, a friend of mine started a training company and he's looking for people who can help him give training 1 or 2 evenings per week for an extra 20 Gs per month. I thought maybe you can do with it. I make reference to a friend again. So that keeps the limelight off you. So if you made a bad impression or he doesn't like you or doesn't trust you, he's going to be curious who your friend is. So that's the second must, come to the point. The third one is always disclaim. I go like, now, Mike, I know you would like to find out more, and you've got probably a lot of questions, but I would like to have coffee with you to come and tell you more, or which evening suits you best, Monday at my place or Tuesday yours. That is one thing. Always give the guy 1 or 2 options. Now that in lockdown we cannot move, you can say to a person, I would like to introduce you, let's say, to Rudolph, what about Monday night or Saturday night? Or to Donny, I would like him to meet my friend Tuesday or Wednesday morning. You'll find if you give a guy 2 options, that it's an old sales pitch. People will always choose one of the 2. And it's got a better chance of making up an appointment. Then things that you never should do is you should never nag. I mean, the guy can get that at home for free out of his office, okay? Never give too much information. Don't mention the name Dew Point yet. Why? Because if somebody pitched him and did a bad job, or he goes to the website and don't, investigate it properly, he's going to be preconceived. And never ever sounds desperate, So that's the don'ts. You don't nag, you don't give too much information, and you don't sound desperate. The object is to see if he's in the market for an extra income. If he's not, don't even go into the conversation. If he's curious, make an event to when you're going to show him. Now, a tip what I would like to leave you guys with is always try and close there, and if you can't, follow up. And how do I close? I ask questions which either demands a yes or no answer. I will go like, Mike, can you do with an extra 20,000 per month? I mean, that's a yes or no. Or I can say, Mike, when would we make the first deduction? The end or the middle of the month? The beginning or the middle? So if you give 2 choices, instinctively, try it. You'll be amazed. It actually works very well. And if a guy says, listen, I need to speak to my wife, I said, well, I thought you would be a person that makes educated decisions. This is why I approached you. What night can I come back to you? What about Wednesday or Thursday? And always try and see if you can get another date. And if a guy gives you space and he wants some breathing space, even if it's a month, 2 or 3, but never, ever stop following up. Why? Because a lot of people, some of the people in this group took 4 years to actually recruit. And I found that often I run into people who said, somebody spoke to me about Dew Point and I don't know what happened to him. He's just missing. I think he changed his number. And Rudolph and those people will vouch for them. You get people like this. They've just never been followed up. Now, from my side, that's my 3 approaches. I hope there's something you can make use of. And so in short, I like using the friend of mine and offer income. And then the must is be enthusiastic and timely, compliment, come to the point, and disclaim. So say to him, it might not be for you. You like to have information. So he gets to think he's watching something, but there's no pressure. It might not be for him, but let's have a look and see if you can do with that. And then never nag, don't give too much information, and don't sound desperate. And that's from my side, Rudolph.
Donny, any tip that you, just a general tip on the approach?
Yes, what I would do in the approach is it helps to selecting your individual. I mean, have a look at, does he have a smartphone? Does he have an income? I mean, is that the type of person you would like to work with? Unlike normal job opportunities, we've got a choice who you want to surround you with. When I was still employed, a lot of the people I didn't like, which I was working with, and I had no choice. Yeah, you can choose the people you grow old with. So look at the guy. Is he presentable? Is that worth a 20-year friendship? And that should be a good indication. I think Brendan summarized it correctly. It must be peer or above, somebody like you or better than you, somebody that you're not too ashamed to associate. If the guy's got bad personal issues, next, just take the next one. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Donny. Now I'm trying to trace Philip. Yeah. Has Philip come back? Have you seen Philip March? I can't see him on the list. Yeah. Okay, I think Philip might have a technical problem on his side. So I'm going to start in the meantime, and when Philip comes along, then we'll get Philip the opportunity as well. Yes, I think some of the things that Donny's already said, we're absolutely in agreement. I'm going to give you my 3 approaches, and I really keep it simple. And the first one of those approaches is I say to a person, as a matter of interest, would an extra 10,000 Rand a month make a difference in your life? This is if I don't know anything about the person. This is just like general shotgun approach. Would an extra 10,000 Rand a month make a difference in your life? That's it. You're either going to get a yes or a no. And I promise you, up to now, nobody said no to me. They all go like, yeah, that will be great if I can make an extra 10,000. Then I give them the second question. Would you be prepared to invest 1 hour to find out how it works? Okay, so it's like 2 approaches in one. Okay, now if the person, after they said yes to the first one, if they go no to the first one, you turn around, walk away, because they're dead. You don't want them in your business. If they say yes and you go with the second one, are you prepared to invest 1 hour to find out what it's all about? And they go like, no, tell me now. You say, well, do you have 1 hour now? And they go like, no, but just give me an idea of what it's all about. You go like, sorry, I made a mistake. You're not the right kind of person. And walk away. They will be curious enough to come back to you. If they know you, they will come back and say, okay, man, okay, forget about that. Tell me what it's all about. The second one is I like to talk to people of my own age. I'm 66 years old. I know the pain that people that are looking at retirement, etc., the pain that they have. And I would usually, it's just a personal thing. I'd like to know a little bit more about the person before I actually approach them for the business. So if it's somebody that I meet up with, for example, I meet Mark beside note, and we start chatting, and Mark says, yeah, I'm in the real estate business, but it's a problem and it's affecting my pension, etc. And then I would offer him and say, Mark, I don't know if it's something that you might be interested in, but we actually found a solution. Martha and myself found a solution where we can supplement our pension and actually build something that's going to be more significant than the pension itself. It's going to take a little bit of time, but are you prepared to invest 1 hour to find out what it's all about? And again, the same thing. If Mark goes, no, I'm not interested, then thanks, Mark, go on your way. It's as simple as that. Third approach, is business people. I'm a business owner myself, and guys, businesses are suffering. They're bleeding. Those that still have some blood left are bleeding, I promise you. So when you meet up with business people, and they can be anybody, it can be the plumber that comes and fixes the leak, it can be anybody. And this is just great. While you're chatting to them, say to them, so how's business? You guys are making a lot of money. And boy, I tell you, 80% of them goes like, what are you talking about? I'm hardly surviving, etc. And then you say, well, that's interesting. I'm also a business person. And I just found that, you know, those valleys where business is really down there, and you need to survive for the whole month, and there's no money to pay the bills and everything. We actually found something that evens out our cash flow. Would you be interested in something like that? Because immediately, if you offer them help, they will be interested in what you have to say. So, yeah, it's important that if you know their pain, it's very easy to approach them. So those are my three approaches. I'm going to go to the musts. Is always respect people. To me, that is the most important thing. If you're disrespectful towards people, they will not respect whatever you have to offer them. So respect them. Don't be rude. Don't just bombard them with stuff, and don't say, shut up, I'm busy talking, and can't you open your ears, and are you stupid that you can't hear that what I'm saying? Respect them. Okay, because if you respect them, they will respect you in return. The second thing is in the must is that's where I need to actually join forces with Donny. Sound enthusiastic. And Donny, you actually disappeared there when you became so enthusiastic. I think we had an overload on the system. Sound alive. I mean, guys, that's just it. I mean, if you go like, oh, yeah, I've got this thing that I would like you to have a look at, and it's really going to blow your mind. Guys, you go out there and you say, this is unbelievable. You won't believe what I've just seen. This is, wow, this is major. But with an extra 10,000 Rand a month, that make a difference in your life. Guys, that's a big difference. You know, they actually teach people that do telemarketing to stand up while they're speaking. For the simple reason is when you're standing, you feel more energetic and you feel more alive, and people can hear it. Even over the phone, they can hear your enthusiasm, etc. And smile while you're talking. People can hear a smile. So yeah, that's be enthusiastic. Those are the must. Then on the do nots. Do not offer people a product. I know there are people out there that go and say, listen, this is the best product. You must actually have a look at it. What is the purpose of Viewpoint? Is we offer people financial independence. We offer people residual income, intergenerational wealth. The product is purely a vehicle. So when you go to people, do you have a funeral policy? Okay, now the problem with that is a closed question. The guy goes no, or the guy goes yes. Okay, now if you want to use the product as an approach, then you need to link the business to it. But I don't use the product at all. To me, the product is purely, and that's a personal thing. I mean, you're going to hear a lot of different opinions tonight. I don't use the product. The second thing is I'm quite careful when it comes to offering people a business. I have a conventional business. I would love to get rid of it. It's not something that really floats my boat. And when you look at people that are in own business, remember they're the first one there in the morning, the last to leave, etc. Now you come along with another business. They go like, geez, I'm so busy with my own business, I can't even focus on anything else. So I would rather talk about a system. I would rather talk about an opportunity than the business thing. Yeah, it's would you like to start your own business? I always offer people money because money makes the world go round. Okay, and then stay away from network marketing, multi-level marketing, referral marketing, direct sales, whatever, because people always deem themselves to be bad salespeople. It's just amazing. I mean, I don't know why they think that. So the minute you say like, oh, all that we do is we sell a couple of policies, and you know they do the same thing, etc., and then eventually you have a business. Rather steer clear of it. Those are the things that I just find that are more that have more of a negative connotation as positive. So yeah, I would rather stay clear of that. Okay, so then the last thing is on the tip, and I see Philip is back in the room, so once I'm finished, I'm going to hand over to Philip. My tip is never close an approach where you don't have access to that person as a prospect again. And for example, if I do, let's say, a really bad approach, and I phone Donny and say, Donny, have you heard about Viewpoint? And Donny goes, yeah. And I said, Donny, would you like to do Viewpoint? I don't know how you do Viewpoint, but let's say that was my approach. And Donny goes, no, I'm not interested. That is a close. I've excluded Donny. I cannot approach him again. I think you all agree. Or Donny, how do you feel about network marketing? Oh, not really good. I've heard about this way and that way and whatever. Donny, would you consider, getting involved in network marketing? And he goes like, no, that is a closed approach. You're never going to have access to Donny again. So I would rather, like I said to somebody in the week, if I approach somebody, they don't know what I'm talking about. So my tip is keep them in the dark. If they want the information, they must come to the party by giving you an hour so that you show them everything. Not little bits, tidbits, etc. This is not a 3-course meal. They come and they get the whole issue once. Okay, no little bits of information, because that really doesn't work. Okay, so I'm going to hand over to Philip. Now let's just find Philip. Yeah, there you go, Philip. Okay, Philip, I'm going to unmute you. Okay, there you go, Philip.
Hi, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Good shot. Thanks a lot. Okay, first tip, very important. Before you do anything else, make sure you got enough electricity units before you start Zoom meeting. I opened my mouth and it all went dark, and I thought, bloody hell, that was not that bad. Okay, I don't have much time, so let me get cracking. Okay, firstly, guys, I have no idea what anyone else said up until this time. I just stripped another layer off my tires, because we normally do it from our phones, and my brother has got a new phone, so all the apps that are on it that we load electricity is not on there. So yeah, the guy at the garage still doesn't know what the hell I asked him, but I got my electricity. Okay, guys, the number one thing for me is always keep your invitation short. The average person out there is not only busy, but they're constantly bombarded with things that are demanding their attention, and they've developed filters that allow them to make a quick assessment, or they've got like a dipstick test that Viewpoint are fond of referring to test or to check out the info that they provided with, because they're constantly getting bombarded with stuff. So the challenge you have is to get past those filters with your invitation, and it's not going to happen if they have to plow through long, lengthy, complicated info. Especially on Facebook, if you don't get the attention within the first 10 seconds, then you're most likely going to lose them, because there's so much other stuff that's going on and competing for their attention. So yeah, the old principle of keep it short and simple. There's another way of saying that, but I'll leave it to keep it short and simple. But I just tried to do, when I looked at Facebook and when I started, I just did the opposite of what the majority of people were doing. I started with very simple text, with a simple message, and I was competing against very fancy ads with complex colors, pictures, and information, but it worked very well because it stood out. And it seemed like I was directly speaking to that person as if I was sending them a WhatsApp or an SMS. And then later on, about 5 or 6 months into it, a lot of people started doing what I was doing, so I switched and I went back to what they were doing in the past, and then I started adding pictures and stuff. So just whatever you see everybody doing, do the opposite, because it's I mean, if you went driving along the highway and you saw a billboard that was 2 centimeters long and 50 meters high, I promise you would look at it. But because you're bombarded with the same stuff, so try to stand out, try to do something difficult. Yeah, then it's difficult to know what pushes people's buttons, but any conversation in general that you can start about finances, just I'm talking about the broad population, and the cost of things will get most of the people reacting. Now, you don't want to be negative, but when you just mention to somebody, what do you get for 250 Rand when you go and buy groceries and go to the store? And the guy will say, oh, it's pathetic. You don't even get a little plastic bag full of stuff. So, and what you're essentially doing is you verbalizing the problem, So you can set yourself up as a solution. So you saying, listen, yeah, no, the economy is bad, we're all struggling, but luckily I've got dew point. There's the, and anybody's going to ask you what is dew point. So, well, I like to say, yes, yeah, I'm lucky. I've got a big brother in my corner. I've got support from a massive financial partner. And they all go, what? Yeah, it sounds like I've got, I'm with the mafia. And I said, no, it's dew point. I think Rudolph taught me a great approach. Where there are two things. The one is you can ask anybody, listen, are you open to other income opportunities? And most people will at least ask you why you're asking them. Or if you say to them, you know, would an extra 10,000 Rand per month in the budget make a difference to your lifestyle? So, you know, the person that says no, then yeah, okay. Then you can say to them, but why not? And then you'll start a conversation anyway. All right, so that's the number one, the first point, keep it short. Now, my first thing that you rather mustn't do, I've got to have one, what you do and what you mustn't do is don't bombard people with information because you lose them. Okay, as soon as they get a plethora of information, the filter goes up. And also, Brendan mentioned it in another video, don't offer a business opportunity. If you're going to go to somebody and say, hi, I want you to see this business opportunity that I got. Yes, but you stand in the back of the row with all the other scammers out there. They also all doing the same thing. You also want to keep some of your info in reserve. Don't throw it all at people. Remember, what you're constantly funneling people towards a point. Okay, you don't want to give them all the good stuff at the invitation stage. Try and discipline yourself to only respond to what that person is asking. Okay, don't give them more than that because then all you're doing is confusing them. So respond to what they're asking. And if a person doesn't ask a lot of questions, then don't start filling in the blanks. So people get rattled when the other person is not very talkative. It might just be the way that they might be very knowledgeable. So don't go and confuse them with more stuff because a confused person automatically puts the shutters up. You know, I've seen so many people talk a person into a presentation and then right out of a presentation again within the matter of minutes because they're nervous. Okay, so this is a very, very difficult thing to do, especially for people that are in the sales environment. Park your ego, remove yourself from the process. Okay, let the content of your invite speak for itself. You don't have to be an actor or a performer. Everything is done for you. All right, the number 2 point, what you must try and do, the thing that you must strive for. I'm a great believer in using FOMO. FOMO is fear of missing out. Now, in network marketing, they talk a lot about maintaining your posture. Okay, this is something that you develop or practice and feel, and as you gain confidence. So, what your invitation? Let's use the analogy of a train. Your invitation must seem like it is the last train pulling into the station. It's the last and only train. If that person doesn't climb on it in time, they're going to be left behind. Okay. And they look at your train and they see that it's full of people for a reason because it's taking them to the desired destination, and they want to get onto that. Okay, so they must feel fortunate that you're inviting them to take part in the opportunity. And I want to say this in Afrikaans. Ons moenie Jannie jammer gehad wees oor dew point. You don't have to feel like you don't have to be like a telesales rep that's on the back foot from the moment they pick the phone up and start talking to someone. You have got something that can not only change a person's life dramatically, that can save them and change their life dramatically, but can also make a difference to the total social environment that you are involved in. So this is not something that you need to be ashamed of and you know, like squeaky to somebody. You must be confident and bold and say to somebody, this is something you better not miss out on. But yeah, I'm going to offer it to you once. If you don't like it, get out the way. There's someone behind you that I want to offer it to. You know, it might come across as a bit arrogant, but so be it. Because it also cuts out the time wasters, and you get the people that are keen. So the opposite of that, what you mustn't do is get emotionally attached to the process. Never ever come across as needy. There's an Afrikaans saying, moenie laat die persoon voel jy is verleer oor hulle nie. Don't ever let them feel that you're desperate and you need them. Okay, you must approach people as if the result doesn't matter at all. Your only job is to get the info in front of people. Okay, you must be like a tour guide that is selling Disney World tickets. If all your job is to do is to sell tickets. If a person doesn't buy a ticket, they don't get to see Disney World. If they do, they get to see Disney World. Whether what they see there or don't enjoy, it's got nothing to do with you whatsoever. Your job is to get them to go into Disney World. So in other words, the whole job of the invite is to get the person to go to the presentation. The outcome of that is not in your hands. Okay, so don't stress about that. Okay, then lastly, the third thing is what a lot of people, I get this almost on a weekly basis. I've always got people that are, you can see with the way that they start asking questions, they're looking for that silver bullet, that one thing. What is that one thing that I say in an invite? That magic thing that if I do that, I'm sure, Philip, that you do this, and I'm sure Donny does, all these guys that are doing well, you've all got that one thing that you're hiding from us. But there isn't a one thing. Okay? I'm constantly experimenting to see with what works, because there's not so much about how perfect the invitation is, but rather how often you're willing to get it out there and to connect with people. Donny sent a video again, and I'm so glad he did, because I haven't seen it for a long time. It's one about the sower and the seeds from Jim Rohn. And it's brilliant. Go and watch it as soon as you can. It's got to do with the law of averages. And Brendan refers to it as time and numbers. Now, just to quickly give you an example of this, let's check my time. Malcolm Gladwell wrote a book called Outliers. And what they did in that book is they tracked what the amount of time that it took for someone to be truly exceptional in their chosen field. If you look at a Bill Gates, Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, they estimate that it took them 10,000 hours. Okay, they started out as talented people anyway, but it took them 10,000 hours to become true experts in stars at what they do. Okay, I did some maths, and I calculated that 10,000 hours divided by, let's say, if you work an average of 6 to 7 hours a day, that's going to take you 4 years. Okay, I want to become an expert at you. I've only been doing this for 1 year. So for me to become a true expert, I've got another 3 years to go. And now you're looking for one thing in one invite, and I'm talking about 4 years. Okay, so I just want to use that to put it into perspective. When you look at Rudolph, Marsha, and Donny, and Lynette, they've all been around for 2 to 3, and some of them closer to 4 years. So they're starting to approach that expert level where their 10,000 hours are starting to count. And you can see that in their results. Okay, so for you to now think that you only need one thing in one invite is really, really unrealistic. And so many people give up because they just think that they're doing something wrong. It's not what you're doing wrong. You're just not doing it enough. Okay. Then you just need to do 3 things in that process: is plan your plan, implement your plan, drive your plan. If you can do those 3 things on a non-stop basis, so plan your plan without getting paralysis by analysis. Don't overthink it. Go and find out what is the best thing to do. Okay, get it sorted how you're going to do it. Then fix whatever errors there are. Then drive that plan. Then find something that works for you. Then just do a lot of it. All successful companies in the world have perfected this. Coca-Cola, Ford, Apple, McDonald's, KFC. They found a method in the creator system that repeats it over and over and over again. And you know what? It gets boring. It seriously gets boring. That's how I find myself changing it up every now and again, because I get stubborn because it's too easy. So, but that is where you're successful now. Because if you throw time and numbers at it, you will succeed. Because the more you do it, the better you will get it, the better you will get at it, and the faster and faster you will progress. Okay. Because it's very simple. If you take 2 people, let's take person A and B, one with exceptional talent, okay, and a very high intelligence, but only connect 5 people a day. And an average dose type like me and you, well, I won't include you, me, an average guy that connects, say, 20 people a day, okay? The biggest difference is their work ethic. By the end of the month, the average guy would have connected 600 people, and the bright guy to 150 people. The average guy has a 4 times better chance of succeeding. And you extrapolate that over a year, the bright guy is not going to be around anymore, because he's going to think, yes, you know, I'm doing something wrong. He's not doing anything wrong. He's not doing enough of it. Okay, then the converse of that is don't be inconsistent. Okay, it's so much more difficult to pick this whole thing up. When you're in a tempo and you've got momentum, it's so difficult to pick it up again when you leave it for a while. Yes, take a break by all means, but don't take a break for too long. So there's a saying, rather do a lot of times than a whole lot a little bit of time. So do your little bit every single day, rather than leaving it for one day of the week and just try to do 7, 8, 9, 10 hours of it. Okay, so if you can, create a dew point time. Get yourself a sacred dew point to be disciplined about it. Okay, then finally, the one tip, and it's not actually a tip, it's a non-negotiable, but I found this has stood me in tremendously good stead, and if I hadn't done it, it would have come back to bite me. Always be 100% transparent and authentic in everything you do. And those invites, there's so much nonsense going out there, because just by being 100% genuine, real, transparent, and authentic in everything that you do, especially on social media, you're already better than and ahead of 80% of your competitors, because all those buchus out there that are doing the stuff that they shouldn't do just by default. especially in the beginning when you're anxious to succeed. People might exaggerate and give facts they aren't 100% sure about, and say to somebody, if someone says, "Yeah, I'm going to get rich with this," "Ja, nee my broer, yes, ons gaan geld maak." Don't say that. Rather miss out on connecting someone now because you told them the bold truth, than connecting them and they found out later that you told them a story, because it's almost impossible to get your credibility back once you've lost it. Yeah, and especially not on social media. Rather say something, I'd rather say less than say something that it isn't 100% true. Yeah, because to try and win back people, that is impossible. And fluit my stories uit. Thanks, Roelof.